Blah, 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 blah. Where is everyone? Hello? Also, I can barely hear myself. Hello? Furry Cures? Bone, you there? Normally there's like someone in the chat. Unless I'm like just streaming to like no one. Maybe Twitch is... Maybe Twitch is gone. No, Twitch is still there. Let's see. Mega, Desi, Kofu, they're still alive. All sorts of people. Ah, okay. Well, looks like I gotta have to start getting at the get-go. Why is Blender not running? Let me get that up and going. What has been going off in my day? Also, is it 6 o'clock? Yeah, it is 6 o'clock. Alright. What has been going off in my day? Well, not much. Still going through work as per the usual. I have... emotionally? Where am I at? Oh yeah, had like a... Also, am I not... I'm not muted. Q. Had a fun, emotional, last, week and a bit. Because... Yeah, I, going to the States and such like that. I'm going to the States on my birthday. With, basically I'm flying during my birthday. And I'm turning 30, which is, a really, a lot of people see that as, sort of a big number for, age-wise. And they're like, oh, you gotta do extra celebration when you turn 30. You can't just, it can't be like you're 26 or you're 27 or you're 28 or you're 29 where the birthday comes and goes and you've, I don't know, maybe drunk something. It's like you gotta celebrate, you gotta do something big for your 30s. And here I am, in my apartment, just making ends meet, streaming to whatever furry or furry adjacent likes watching me, and I'm just sort of like, I don't know, I don't know what the fuck I'll do. So yeah, so I'm going to the States for a wedding. I'm leaving, basically on my birthday, and I get a phone call from my dad of hey, are you, because he knows I wanted to go or something, but he's like, are you sure you want to go? I don't think anyone would mind, because of it being all of a sudden and you're going on your birthday. Hey, Furry Cures, welcome to the stream. Welcome. For a second there, I thought I was gonna, talk to the void for, a good, 15 minutes or something. How long was I talking to the void for? About 2 minutes. That's on par for most of my, whatsamahoozies, most of my chats in the bathroom. I'm just talking to myself for, 2 minutes with, a random-ass, occurrence in the, words fail me. How's it going, Furry Cures? Sup. My goodness, it's been a weirdly quiet sort of thingamadoogies. You got songs for me? You got the intro to Trigun or to hi there beat songs. Yes. You can request songs. It's in the it's pinned in the fucking probably over there somewhere. You can request songs, and also that reminds me, I need to turn on the song ticker. There we go. So right now why is a lo-fi song called Sex on the Backseat? I have not had sex in the backseat. I haven't had sex anywhere. I have no clue if the back seat is some sort of cultural big stand where you're just sort of oh yeah, everyone has to have sex in the back seat at some point. What do you mean you haven't had sex? Fucking incel? Ow, why you gotta bonk me like this? Why you do this to me? Boop. Now Grant, heads or tails, this will decide what song you'll send today. Heads. I know I have a tail, but I'm gonna go with heads. 50% of the time, I'm gonna succeed with heads, okay? And it will work every time. Oh, I just realized something. Where is it? Predictions start. So, prediction channel point. All right. What I need to do is I need to duplicate this action, And I'm going to call this prediction auto response. And it's going off in the default queue, where basically if there's, all right, and I need to clear all triggers. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so this is Furry Cure's thing. Oof, Google Flip says tails. No! You'll be nice and send me human music. Ah, yes, human music. Yes, thank you, human. I shall accept the tunes and the beats of humans, popularized from the year 1989. Genre, insert genre here. But yeah, I appreciate the music. How's it going, B? Just sneaking a peek while Mega. Wait, also, B, quick question. Are you siblings to Mega? I don't know who told me this. But apparently, like, Mega has like 100 siblings and cousins and shit like that, and they're all on like Twitter, Twitch and shit like that. Songs are too low. Well, that's because I'm talking right now. Of course the music is going to be a bit low. Like, maybe if I put it, like, up to this volume. Songs are too low. I have a joke with Mega calling her my sister, and she shares the same birthday as your IRL sister. Oh. Because someone was like, oh, yeah, like, there's, like, a woman named Helena, I think, on Twitch, and they're like, yeah, that's Mega's sister. And I'm like, what? People just have their siblings streaming on the same platform. Like, my sister does not stream on Twitch. Let me tell you this right now. So hearing that, like, you know, not only do people stream on Twitch, but their siblings will stream as well, I'm just sort of like, that's too many streamers in the family. That's too many streamers. You can't have more than one streamer in the family. It's too crowded. Mega has like 7 siblings. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, okay, so 100 was an exaggeration, but 7? And all of them are on Twitch right now. All of them do something on Twitch. All right, where was I in my auto? Oh yeah, here's my auto response thing. Add trigger. It was going to be, so for predictions, it was going to be when a prediction was created. And so I need to make it now where, okay, so the auto response cannot execute the thingy-majiggy. A new prediction has started. Vote now on your devices. I'll do like other kinds of nonsense. Kareshi. There we go. Thank you for the song request. Alrighty. Sorry, I'm like fiddling around with, you know what? Let me show you what I'm doing right now. So turn off the PC capture, turn on the main desktop. Right now I'm like, because this is what happens on Wednesdays, is I'm either doing something in StreamerBot or I'm doing something in Blender. We're not gonna do, but I'm right now in like this little thingy-majiggy of like predictions auto no, don't pull the lever on it. Ah, Masonic, don't pull the lever. Start action, or start response. So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make, so it does that, and then that way what I can do then is I can do an execution of code. Can I export? I'm gonna export this real quick. Export to file. So then that way, all right, so prediction channel points Twitch. All right, so that's being exported. Do you want to clear the export? No. Close. All right. Actually, no, that didn't export it. What the hell? Export. Add actions to export to the main window. Oh. Add? Nope. How do I add this to the thingy madoogies? Like, add to export. There we go. And then start fight. Add to export. Name. Channel point. Predictions. Export to file. You did not see my name there. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It was here earlier. Prediction, channel points. Yep, we're going to replace that file. Do you wish to clear the export? Yep, close. All right, that way we have the thingy-majiggy there. So for channel points, it executes the code, which is all we need it to do. And then for the fighting, it's going to do the Twitch prediction for fighting. All right, so now the idea is that any Twitch poll that starts, there's going to be a bugle horn. It's going to send a message, and then it's going to like keep the prediction open. So if I go / prediction, it's going to open the prediction window. I'm going to start a prediction. Oh my gosh, this is a terrible like thingamadoogie to do the prediction at. Because like the window. All right. So what? Name the prediction. Will Grant like the next song? Love it. Hate it. And then we're gonna have that go off for about a minute. So now if I click start, excuse me. Got it. Did it work? I heard the bugle horn. Did you hear the bugle horn? Did chat hear the bugle horn? That's the very important thingy-majiggy. Finish before continuing. No, we want that to run while... Yes, we did. Excellent. Did it alert you? Did it like did it get people ready where they were like, yes. Oh, something's happening. Also, thank you for the bless you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yay. So yeah, and then, yep, there's the streamer bot saying a new prediction has started. Vote now on your phones. All right, so we got 10 points saying I'm gonna love it. We got 40 points saying I'm gonna... Why are you putting in songs that, you know, why are you putting in songs that I won't like? You should try and add songs that I'll love. Well, we're close to like the end of this song as well, so we're gonna learn very quickly if I'm gonna love it or hate the next song that gets played. I don't know what's gonna be played next. I've kind of forgotten. I have been a bit like a goldfish for the last few days. So like I'll explain to you more about like my goldfish-esque what's-a-mahoozy, like how that's been going, because I'll be real with you, I've not been doing too well with remembering stuff. What's this one? Dun, 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 dun. All right, so this is one of Furry Cure's songs. Dun, 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 dun. Delete the default cube. We are going to add in... Let's start with an icosphere. I feel like that's probably a good way to start. With a high subdivision. We'll keep it like a meter just to, you know, help keep us in thingamadoogs. And then... Alright, alright, sculpt mode, here we go. So, we can do, alright. So if I do grab, I can grab like that. Oh, I can go like dino. Will not preserve vertex UVs or other custom data. No, that's fine. Yep. Oh my. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Dino. Yep. We're fine with that. All right. So we're going to go with an elastic deform. So then that way I can... Yum. Slowly but surely we are going to make something. And it's going to be fucking terrible. It's not exactly like clay, is it? Details, subdivide. Oh my gosh, look at this. It's not doing what I want. Actually, is there a way for me to... Ooh, auto smooth. So, and then... Oh, it's when I want to do the drawing that it like gets the fucking thingy-majiggy. All right, cool. Fair enough. All right, so there's the thingy-madoogs. That was fairly all right. I don't know if I love it though. Oh, that's my hang on a sec. That's my grandfather. Hey, Grandpa. I'll definitely have a look at the GIF register a little bit soon in the future. I'll call Grumps. I'll try and call him tomorrow morning. I think is when is an appropriate time, or if I'm up late tonight. I'll need to get going shortly because I have some plans to get back to. I'm sorry to say. So. Yeah, no, I'll get onto it as soon as I can, and I'll get back to you on timing and such like that. All right. Alrighty then. Alrighty then, Grandpa. I'll get onto that. Thank you. I love you. Bye. There's the button. Alrighty. Done. So that was my grandfather. Um the prediction. Did you like the song? I think yes. I think yes, I did like the song. Let me go to the let me get to the browser and ding. Where is predictions? Choose the outcome. Did I love it? Yeah, I think I didn't hate it. That's for sure. I thought it was nice. Here's the thing: is that like there are some anime songs out there that do a good job, but you know that's very hard to decide when everything I'm listening to is like anime every few seconds. I had to hit the advertisement so then that way, like, because I thought the conversation was going to be like 30 minutes or 30 seconds or less. Wasn't the case. I forgot how much. I forgot like the amount of conversation I'd have with Grandpa and such. Alrighty. All right. So what we're doing is, we are going to make some sort of. Actually, this is a terrible start. Hang on a second. Object, delete, mesh. Let's start with a cylinder. Edit mode. Ding, 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 ding. All right, so yep, that's on the y-axis. Scale on the y, so it's longer. And then pink. And then we go and grab, so we do it on the x-axis, and we grab, let's go and grab, just so then that way we can have like some like thingy-madiggies to start us off. All right, hang on, that didn't work as well as I want. Extrude individual, there we go. So if I go Control Shift M, extend the mirror, there we go, and then extrude 1 meter. There we go. And then I'm gonna try and make like a zebra plushie if I can. So yeah, so we need a UV sphere. And we're gonna put you there. SZ. Oop, that's a scale on the Y. I'm cooking on something, okay? I'll ignore the tail for now. And then, all right, now we go into sculpt mode using retopo. So and then I'm gonna do an elastic distortion. You know. And then if I draw And then... Ding, 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 ding. Here we go. You'll cook for me. Okay, that's not doing what I want, so let's inflate these. There we go. Oh, joy. All right. Let's inflate this. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's see if we can... Making it bigger do better? No. There we go. Is this Taylor Swift? Hang on. All right, so what did B submit? I didn't read what B submitted. Yeah, it's from Taylor Swift. What am I making? I'm trying to make like a zebra plush. Like you'll remember chat about like that little zebra in the corner there. That zebra, you know, has a lot of problems, like mesh-wise. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to like, you know, sort of recreate it with the things that I know about Blender and shit in today's age. And so yonk. So yeah, right now I'm just sort of inflating the legs just a little bit and then yom. So we're gonna... Hey!
Jason, with the 22
Jason! Thank you for the 22 months! Hey. Hi! Hi, Jason. Thank you so much for the 22... You're on a 21-month streak as well. You don't have to worry about advertisements, and you get to have all these fun emotes. I'm trying to make my zebra plush. The one I'm trying to recreate the zebra plush, the thing that we had like back in the What am I listening? Oh, it's another Weeb song. I'm trying to create like the... I'm trying to recreate the zebra model, or at least like a new one. All right, we're gonna grab again. So, yonk. And then we're gonna bring you in, just so then that way we have a spot to put like the buttons and shit. And then... All right, what's the smoothing? There we go. That's smoothing. I think that's smoothing. Yeah, that looks like I'm smoothing it. So then that way, there we go. And then make it a little bit. There we are. I'm trying to be like relatively fast as well. Smooth, real nice. Yeah. And then, so yeah, using shift like smooths it out. And then like, as you see, it does like a whole ton of thingy-majiggs. And then, oop, and then, all right. And now if I, no, that's not necessary. Hi there, Code. Also, thank you, Mark, for the... All right, I need a zebra plushie reference. Hang on a second. Zebra plush. All right, I need a zebra reference. Give me a second. Nope, that's... Give me a second. Like, something like this would be funny. Or this little guy right here. That looks cool. That looks nice. And then... Alright, so... Okay, so what I should be doing is... Instead of having his head, like, down here, I need to have his head, like, up here. Oh, Jesus. Come on. There we go. Hang on. I need to fix this. There we... Yonk. How does... How about... You've already added 3 songs? Yeah, let other people add some songs, B. Stop hogging the jukebox and let the newbies get to add some songs. Alright. Oh my god, what the fuck is... Alright, so... Yonk. Yonk. Ow! Why are you bonking me? Alright, and then... Dunk. Alright. What am I listening to? Alright, hang on a second. Horse versus dog. Like, how can I... What's, like, the visual difference between making a horse and making a dog? I think I know the difference. Alright, so first and... So, the long neck. Alright, hang on a second. Oh, you don't... Oh, Jesus. So, like, this. Come on. So something like this. Nah, hang on. Like... Hmm... Yep. A horse. Trying to make a horse can't be done. I have no clue how to make a fucking horse. Also, there's like a very obvious seam here, which I need to fix. Hang on a second. If I can... Let's see. Can I fill? There we go. There we are. Dun, 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 dun. Hi there, Kutuneke. I'm trying to make a horse. I'm not doing too well. I'm trying to make a horse. Maybe what I need to do... Okay, hang on a sec. Horse silhouette. Maybe what I need to do first is I need a basic horse... That is not a horse silhouette. That's just a... Alright, so there's a horse silhouette. Save image as... that's a WebP version. Save as. What about this one? Yep, that's a PNG. That's better. Alrighty, so that's been saved. Shift. Oh Jesus, what the hell was that? All right, hold on. Tab, object, Shift A, image, reference, downloads, horse. Depth, both. All right, 5 meters. All right, there we go. Only axis, wait, only axis aligned. What the hell? Alrighty. So now if we go back to this thing, Jesus Christ. All right. Delete all that. And then edit mode. We add in a cylinder. Rotate along the X by 90 degrees. Yonk. All right. And then, so about donk, and then let's go here. And then we grab this face. And then we extrude. Oh, song list. You put in 2 eyes there, MB. All right, so it's like that, and then extrude, and then extrude. Mesh symmetry. Ah! All right, hang on. Let me start earlier from the cylinder. All right, so basically what I need to do is dink. All right, and then ding. So ding and dong, Control Shift M. So then that way it extrudes like this. And then insert face. Hang on, so we want to insert the face here. So then that way we can go extrude. There we go. A horse. All right, dink. All right, there we go. There's our horse, and then we'll put the ears. Horse. Horse. I'm gonna say this again until people can see it. Horse. It's a horse. I could see you struggling hard with the head. Yeah, maybe a horse head is probably like not the best thing to try and work with, but at least I've got it now. Save this work. Blender files. Sculpting. 2023.
Jason wants you to save your work.
30th. Yep, I'm saving my work right now. There we go. All right. Now if I go into sculpt mode, I can then... All right, so we can thicken this... Oh, okay. Does it not do what I want it to do? All right, so... Wood sun, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your hearing wet to rest. Don't you cry no more. Hit it! Dun, 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 dun. You know, if you were watching Supernatural and this song popped up, you know you hit the Supernatural season finale, okay? Have you guys been watching Supernatural? Who requested this? B, have you seen Supernatural? Were you part of Super Wholock? Were you just like some reason obsessed on Tumblr with Supernatural and you had this moment of like, oh, we're getting into season 6 where you have angels and demons fighting each other, and then you have like Dean and Sam trying to break their prophecy, and you're a huge DCL fan. Be honest with me, B. When Destiel finally happened, were you heartbroken? Did you feel cheated that at the one moment when Dean finally heard Castiel's confession, Castiel was like, "Oh, this is my moment. This is when I'm happiest. This is when I confess my love to you." And then next thing you know, it's like, boo, the nothing or the darkness or some shit. It's just like, oh, he's happy. I'm gonna take this. They fucking, you know what they did? It's a TV trope. It's a TV trope. It's called like, I think it's like the heartbroken gay or something like that. It's a fucking trope where if you have a gay or queer character in your TV show, for some reason, there's a very common trend where they don't get to be happy all the time. It's happened in what's it called? It happened in what's it called? What's a Mahuzit? Voltron. It happened in Voltron, where one of the characters was gay, and it looked like they had a partner and everything, and it would have been a happy ever after. And unfortunately, the TV show Netflix decided to like just bait everyone, and they're like, oh, time skip time. His partner is dead, and the only queer he can be is the sad emo queer. Don't remind me about Voltron. And then that's what they did with Destiel, is they just made Dean Depresso, and Castiel is dead. Don't you cry no more. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. All right, I need to grab this. I need to dun 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 dun. Oh wait, no, I want to inflate this. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Wait, is it not doing the reshuffle that I wanted? Oh. Dun 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 dun. Carry on. Oh, that did not do what I wanted. Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry, Mom. Kind of Netflix in a nutshell. Cass is in super hell. Meanwhile, the fucking car gets into heaven. Look. The car isn't in heaven, okay? The car is just a fucking vehicle, all right? Don't be trying to tell me that the car is in heaven. It's not like a house is in heaven. They like it's a construction of man, okay? Much like doors or bars like we got in season 6 as well. Or wait, no, hang on a sec. Okay, so season 1, you're going after the yellow-eyed demon. Season 2, Dad's dead, and they're trying to find the yellow-eyed demon again. Oh no, season 1, they're trying to find Dad. Season 2, they're trying to find the yellow-eyed demon. Season 3, Dean made a deal with Lilith, and they're trying to get him out of the deal. Season 4 was the introduction of Angel. Okay, so season 5. In season 5, when I think it is season 5. In season 5, when they, the one of many times when they died and such like that, they're in heaven, and they're like, this was like, granted, this is back in the earlier iteration of heaven, where it's just, your greatest hits in life reiterated, and which is interesting because normally hell is the one where a lot of the times people are like, oh no, it's the choices that led you into hell are repeated for you because of the pain or what have you, because your memories, emotional ties are normally stronger. Emotions are strong in memory, and they get stronger as you revisit the memory. But anywho, ignore about that. In heaven, when they're doing the whole, traveling down the different memories, and it's Dean has some normally wholesome ones, and then Sam has these very selfish ones, because it's things like, oh, when he ran away from Dean and Dad for 2 weeks or something like that, or when he ran away, or when he left them permanently. You mentioning hell makes me miss Crowley. Crowley is dead. But do not worry. Mark Shepard is always going to be in something. B, you need to play this game, all right? You need to go into big fandoms, and you need to ask yourself, where's Mark Shepard? Because when you start noticing Mark Shepard, you start realizing that Mark Shepard is in a lot of things, okay? Mark Shepard is in Supernatural. He is in he's in Doctor Who. I'm pretty sure he's in Sherlock somewhere if you bother looking for him, but he's in more. He's in Warehouse
Go suck a
13.
lemon.
He's in Firefly. He's in Warehouse... I already said Warehouse 13. He's in X-Files. Where's Mark Shepard in Grey's Anatomy? I don't know. Hi there, Zapper. Look, Mark Shepard is in a lot of fandoms. I'm pretty sure Mark Shepard is also in White Collar as well. That's a good TV show. If you want a new TV show, I recommend White Collar. That one's a good one. It's basically, what if the sequel to Catch Me If You Can was a TV show? So yeah. And Mark Balmer, I don't know what it is, but Mark Balmer is just, you know, fucking amazing in doing their like thingy-majiggy, like charisma-wise. 99%. Was that your rating? Hang on a second. Where's the fucking thingamadoogies? Where? Oh, Jesus Christ! 99%! That is some crazy cuteness level. Chat, look how cute Furry Cures is. 99% cute. You're never gonna be cuter than that. 99%.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. You go suck a cute, fruity lemon. Also, hi there, Savage. Speaking of Supernatural, a Canadian YouTuber I watch was in that show. Wait, what? You're not talking about Felicia Day, right? Because, like, she's in Dragon Age. Like, she's a pretty popular cosplayer turned actress, I'm pretty sure. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Low ride the dun 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 bum 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 boom bum bam 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 bam. He is in the DLC for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Are we talking about Mark Shepard? I gotta go do squats at the next advertisement. This was in A Knight's Tale, I'm pretty sure. Right. Dun 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 dun. How's it going, Savage? His name is Connor Price. Oh, you're talking about the Canadian YouTuber. Who is Connor Price? Connor Price. I have no clue who this man is. It's like when Lex Luthor takes over the Flash's body and he's like, "Oh, your plan isn't working, but at least you get to see the Flash's secret identity." And then Lex Luthor takes off the head and he sees Wally West in the mirror and he's like, "I have no clue who this man is." Dun, 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 dun. He's I don't give a shit about that Frankens. Like that, I'm gonna be real with you. Season 10 is a bit of a meh. Look, Supernatural was kind of falling off after season 5, all right? I hate to break it to you. Season 5 was like its best season because of like the amount of hype, just for the simple fact that it was like, you know, the apocalypse was coming on and, you know, Dean and gang were either going to succeed in stopping it or, you know, the angels and demons were going to have their war.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. All right. I need to shrink. Actually, what I need to do is I need to elastic deform. I need to pull you guys closer together because for some reason. Boom, 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 boom. First time this thing. Maybe stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's jam. Ba-dun dun 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 dun. 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 Dun 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 dun.
Chat has come together and thinks you should do 20 squats during the break.
Alrighty then, here we go. 20 squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Thank you for the 20 squats.
Pull the lever, Crunk.
No, don't pull the lever. Dun, dun, dun. Season 5 was peak Supernatural. I'm glad you agree with me, B. You remember renting out the first main season of Supernatural from Video Easy back before the family got Netflix? Oh my goodness. Supernatural was like definitely one of my... It was probably one of my first fandoms to get into after Avatar: The Last Airbender. And it was probably one of the longest running ones that I was like, all right, if this thing crashes and burns, I'm fine. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, damn it, Savage! You stole my shirt. Did I see Mark's himbo rating? It was like really high, wasn't it? Hang on a second. 99% himbo. That was really nice work. Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. In your eyes. Oh, this isn't blasphemy. This isn't Queen. This isn't Queen. This is fucking Panic at the Disco. You tricked me. This isn't Queen. This is Panic at the Disco. You gave me the fucking what's-a-mahoozy? No! Oh shit, no. Someone give me 69 bits. Make me himbo. 69 bits, please. Make me himbo. 69 bits, please. Dun 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 dun. I'll disappear from this chat if I will. Mama just killed a man. Put a gun against his head. Pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun. But now you've gone and thrown it all away. Mama, ooh. You're gonna be acting like the last time with Country Road? You gave me the inferior copy of Country Road, okay? You knew exactly which Country Road I was talking about. We all seen the trailer. We wanted the original, and you went and got me the fucking Diet Coke equivalent of Country Road. This is the Diet Coke equivalent of Bohemian Rhapsody. Someone put in the Queen Bohemian Rhapsody. You need to understand that is the better Bohemian Rhapsody. This is something from the Suicide Squad. Why does chat bamboozle me like this? Hi everybody. I got to go. Gotta leave it all behind and face the truth. Mama! Ooh, I didn't wanna die. Sometimes I've never been born at all. Carry. Oh my god, what is with this? This edition of Bohemian Rhapsody is like really confusing the fuck out of me. See a little silhouette of a man, Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening. Meet Galileo, 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 Galileo Figaro. Oh, this is terrible. But he was just a poor boy from a poor family, sparing his life from this monstrosity. Easy come, easy go. What is... Oh, this disturbs me. This is a very unique kind of suffering, B. This is a very unique kind of suffering. Cause Mamma mia, Mamma Leah, let him go. Beelzebub, put a devil put aside for me, for me, for me. Damn it, the headbanging doesn't work. The headbanging doesn't work, and it looks disgusting in the D-himbo. I curse you, Savage. I curse you, B. I curse this chat. How dare you fuck up this moment. Oh, what the fuck happened here? All right. Just gotta get out. Horse. Dun 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 dun. Sculpt. And then object mode. Bim, 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 boom. You had the hyper himbo redeemed. That's really great, but unfortunately, it doesn't go off until D-himbo is done via channel points. But if you use bits, because you're putting money where your mouth is, it goes ahead of the rest of the queue and usually like over it, like, you know, forces whatever form. So 420 bits forces the D-himbo. 69 bits forces the extra himbo. If it's channel points, it takes its turn. To me. I hate you, B. You could have given me like the superior. Thank you for the hyper himbo there. You could have given me the superior Bohemian Rhapsody. I was so ready to make it a karaoke thing, but instead, you fuck it all up just to bamboozle me. Here's the worst part for you, chat. None of these songs gonna pop up in the VOD. There's just gonna be me singing by myself. Scrumptious! Thank you. Scrumptious or scrunchious? It looks like scrunchious. Like, no one in the VODs is gonna hear this, which means no clips, no VODs of the music. You're just gonna hear me singing by myself. People can argue that the Shrek 2 version of I Need a Hero is better than the original. Well, here's the thing. The Shrek 2 version of I Need a Hero sticks to the tone and the beat of the original. It's not like Panic at the Disco here, where it decides to just like fuck up the tempo and the vibe. It feels more like, oh, we're just a small town band that wants to, like, you know, pay homage to Queen, but we want to have our own little impression because we don't want to sit behind the shadows of Queen. And you're just sort of like, dude, either, you know, stand side by side with Queen in their music and maybe do reference, or parody it and stand behind them. Don't you dare stand behind them and try and loom over them. You're not going to do it. The minute you accept that there's a shadow upon you because of them, they've eclipsed you. You're not going to do better. The Shrek 2 version is the superior. Look, here's the thing. If you played for me Shrek 2, like the version of I Need a Hero from Shrek 2, and the, you know, I Need a Hero from Saints Row 3, if you played me those two, they very much play at the same like sort of beats of like it'll play at some point, don't you worry. All right. So this is a horse. And look at all them polygons. Doesn't it just look terrible? Oh my god, that's so much. All right, dink. All right, so we're gonna add in a UV sphere. Actually, you know what? Let's not put the eyes from there. Let's Shift A, mirror icosphere, and then there we go. Alrighty, so we're just gonna make them hugely metallic. Object, shade smooth. Phantom!
11-month tier 1 sub.
Thank you for the 11 months! Congratulations!
Adorable, strong, awesome, fuzzy, sweet and sour, beautiful,
sweet and sour?
To dad bod.
What are you looking?
Bean.
Am I a dip? You'll always prefer Bonnie Tyler's I Need a Hero? The original that was in the Mario movie? No spoilers! I haven't seen the Mario movie yet! That's Charles's last appearance of Mario, or his last use of his voice in a Mario property. Charles What's-a-Makuzi, the original voice for Mario, they've been doing their voice for like 30 odd years, I think, or some crazy amount of time like that, and they didn't voice Mario in the movie from Illumination. They instead voiced Jumpman and his dad, Mario and Luigi's dad. And the last line we get from Charles is, "That's my boys." And that's the last thing. That's the last thing Charles has like voiced and recorded for a Mario property. We're never gonna hear him again for Mario shit. Nice animation. Thanks. It pops up anytime someone does like I think an individual gift sub or a subscribe on or just a subscription to me. I want to get more animations for the zebra that are all like, you know, flexing muscles and things. I just don't have a lot of references. How am I doing? I am doing okay. Chat is being fucking mean to me, however. All right, new zebra. And then if I go to texture paint, I can then new zebra plush. What am I listening to? Meow. I feel like I'm listening to something on like a sample board. What am I calling this? Plush zebra albedo. And then the color is going to be white. It's not gonna do an alpha. There we go. Actually, hang on. No, new times by 2. We're gonna make it 2000. Plush zebra color. All right, so there we go. And then linking to an image texture of plush zebra color. There we go. Actually, what we should probably do is... No, do not go into edit. Weird, but okay. All right. Wait, what the hell happened there? Why is it... Huh. Oh, that's why. God damn it. And then... Hopefully I'm doing this correctly. Two. And then 2. Dun, 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 dun. Under my skin. Hang on, I need to somehow change the view so it like shows this in front. No, that doesn't work as well as I hoped. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. That's one way of saying you want Grant to top you. Wait, what? Connor makes those beats. Ah, okay. I have been missing out on so many messages because I'm like trying I'm trying really hard to actually like do like a quote unquote good job here. Ding dong. And then I need to smooth this out. How do I force this to be a circle again? Like, Jesus. Like, it just wants to be that, but it's like, no, just make it a circle, please. How is this not a... There we go. Under my skin. And once again, doesn't want to... Fuck, God damn you. Under my skin. Oh, it's doing that thing again. It's doing that thing again. There we go. Oh, is this the, Yeah, this sounds like it. Please.
Hello.
Hello. Hi there, YY. I'm trying to, like, after doing, like, a crazy amount of sculpting, I'm now just, like, doing a low poly. I don't know why. Low poly is just so often it's like, oh, I could probably do, like, the crazy sculpt and such like that, but it's like... Yerk.
Save. Grant. Save.
Saved. Good night. Gotta be fresh from the fight. Being light. He's gotta be strong and he's gotta be fresher than life. Dun dun dun.
Sipping time sponsored by Phantom.
Alright, sippy times. Hang on a sec. Dun dun. Thank you. You doing it by mouse or using a graphics tablet? I'm doing it by mouse. I'm not a cool ass artist that has a drawing tablet for this shit. Are you crazy? Who has the money for that? Who has the money for that, honestly? Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Bro. Right. Would I be larger than life? This doesn't sound like Meryl Streep. It sounds different. What? Hang on. That doesn't sound like the fairy godmother. Hang on a second. Shrek 2 fairy godmother. Who? Jennifer okay, so it was Jennifer. For whatever reason, it doesn't sound like what I remember from the movie. It doesn't sound like what I remember from the movie for whatever reason. And then all right, there we go. And then extrude.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. Alrighty, so if I now do a shrink wrap modifier, hang on. Where are you? There you go. Shrink wrap modifier upon the sculpt. It will do.
I refuse to elaborate because I don't know what I just said.
And there we go. Horse. How to add songs to list? Song request. Why is the head pat's not working again? Head pat. Why is it... Hang on. Why is that not doing what I want it to do?
Calm your rice paddy.
You calm your rice patty. Bonk and pet import. Hang on a second. Oh my god. Once it... Head pat. Send signal. There we go. That will do it. Is there a save option? No. Close. Menu. Settings. save settings and graph. Hopefully that will stick to it. There we are. All right. Look at this little guy. Hi, Gooey! Hi, welcome to the stream. How's it going? How's the... I've seen you been posting art in the Discord. I love, like, the tail swishing. It's pretty cute.
Chat has come together and thinks you should do 10 squats during the break.
Alright, so, Zebra. Based off of the Zebra plush color. UV editing. So now comes the fun bit where I now need to... That is not the purpose of the thingamadoogies, Phantom. Also, for some reason, it just decided to skip... Hang on. What's wrong with this song? One Vision. Video is not available. Sorry. Video, for whatever reason, is not available for here, so we're now over to A Kind of Magic. Alright, UV... Oh, I need to be doing squats! For some reason, it didn't do the squat thing in a Hang on, that's weird. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. If you're adding it does not meet the minimum views requirement. Yeah, that's 735 views. That's very... I don't trust that. And what's more, you're giving me Nightcore. Alright, Smart UV project. I don't particularly like that, so... Yep, so we're gonna put that down the center. Mark as a seam. Wait, what the fuck happened there? Something's... hang on. Mark as a seam. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. Ba, 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 ba. Ba-da. Ooh.
Emotional damage.
I guess feeling in my bone.
Zeebs is a cutie.
I refute that statement. I am not a cutie. Alright. Mark is a seam. Dun, 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 dun.
Ah, joy.
Marquez seam. Where are you? There you are. All of it just... Something did not work out as intended. Ah, that's why. Clear sharp. Mark a seam. There we go. Mark a seam. That way the tail is separate. All right, so legs separated. Body, ear separated. Hi there, Blue. I didn't realize you were there. Go kiss a himbo. Zeebs is straight as dry pasta. Yeah,
What
I'm
if we
as
held
straight as a.
As a treat.
What's the phrase? Straight as a straight jacket or something. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Bum, bum, bum. And... all right, I don't like link from within the seam. Let's see, can I do iterations of the smoothing? Yes, I can, but it doesn't exactly like it when I do that, which is annoying. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Grab from up here. Nightcore. Dun 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 dun. Never heard of that saying. All right, well, we'll find other things for straight as what, because a lot of people seem to think I'm like extra fruity or some shit, but it's like, no. There's nothing fruity about me. Like I ain't fruity. And this shocks some people because they're like, "What? But you're a strong muscular zebra. Isn't that like bear culture?" And I'm like, "Look, I thought being a strong muscular zebra was going to help me you know, attract the ladies in the furry community. It doesn't. Fun fact, ladies don't care about muscle. That's a men care about muscle. All right, can I just... there we go. Dun 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 dun. Alrighty, and then... so now if I unwrap... there we go, that's a lot better. It's still a bit, you know, shit, because we got... wait, is this thing connected? No, it's not. Okay, I was about to say, it would be weird if it was. And there we are. That's why I'm a pile of goo. I repel everyone. Yay!
117 paid me to say zebra taste better barbecue anyway. Lol JK JK.
Extra meaty. Yes, thank you, Gooey. Pastas straight until it gets wet. Missing all these things isn't into the fruity. You have the Wilds of Endrain pre-release this weekend. Hey, nice work. Good going. I have not purchased any Magic the Gathering content since... hang on a sec. Give me a second. I need to find my Architect because I keep a collection of cards and shit from in there. Give me a few. Dun, 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 dun. My card packages. Nope, it's card collection. So, the most recent set I have should be Tales of New Capenia, or I don't remember this. Zavi, Keen, and Negotiator? Where the fuck did this come from? Target creates X treasure tokens where you created this turn whenever no, I don't remember getting this card. View my decks with this thing. Hang on a sec. Nope. I do not remember having this card. Unless... no. I don't remember... did I open New Capenna? I must have, because I've got, like, foils in here. Lol, I got mount... I love how it's like, mountain, foil. It's featured in at least 3 of my decks that I want to make. Maestro. Maybe I did get New Capenna, and I've just done nothing with it. But I don't remember getting this. When was this added? 2022. Really? News to me. My last lot of cards was Ravnica, Moradin, and Darksteel. That is a while ago. That is a whiles ago. Yeah, I don't remember getting this lady. They said I did. Wait, was New Capenna 2022? No. Pen. No. Streets of New Capenna. When the fuck was that? Released April 29th. Okay, so then how the fuck was it, unless that's the 12th of the 1st, unless, hang on, let me see where it. Okay, so it goes 12, 20. Okay, so month, day, year. So yeah, so I must have grabbed this, but I don't remember this commander. Like, New Capenna Commander, New Capenna Commander, New Capenna. I don't remember getting a commander set. And I barely remember Arcane Bombardment and all these things. I am so... Did I... Was it because of a... Like, okay, I'm gonna be real with you, chat. I have been having a few lapses in my memory in the last few years. Like, for some reason, my chronal sense is just fucking useless right now. Last week, I had to do a thing for work, and because my boss asked me, "Hey, can you do this thing for me about this account?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then I sent them the output of the work I did on that thingamadiggy. All of this was done without a ticket involved because it needed to be done like post haste and such like that. And when I went and then, you know, the weekend went by, got back to work on Tuesday because I didn't have to work Monday, and the ticket came in for the task, and I was like, oh, the process, and I didn't think I did the task for some reason. The task, like the ticket came in, and I was like, oh, I can get this task started, but then it says like, oh, the task has already been done. I post in the group chat, hey, which one of you is completed this ticket? I've only just got it today. My boss comments in the thread, oh, you did that already, mate. You sent me the logs. And I was like, what? So yeah, what's blue going? It was last year, New Capenna. Mirrodin is long gone, phased out. Don't you mean new Phyrexia? Let me slip on my nerd hat and slip into the Zebra streaming, so then that way, if Blue wants to fucking gush about Magic the Gathering, they can do that like within a voice chat instead of like typing it in chat at like, you know, 1,000,000 miles an hour. You don't understand. Zendikar is still existing. Dun, dun, dun. No, don't pull the lever. I honestly think that the Magic the Gathering like cards, like the third party like the third party resellers and such. So like when you unpack the cards and such. Hi there, Blue. Hang on, I need
hello. You freaking asking me to join VC while I'm at work.
Sorry.
Sheesh, I'm at work.
Lol. All right. So yeah, so you got your Wilds of Eldraine, which is basically here's some Arthurian legends, like, you know, compacted into Magic the Gathering because Wizards of the Coast Hasbro can't come up with new ideas like going back to Llanowar.
We're waiting till we get back to Llanowar Shadowmoor. That's the name of the plane now.
That's the name of the plan right now?
Yeah, because Llanowar... Wait, no. You mean Lorwyn. It's Lorwyn. Llanowar is a part of Dominaria.
yeah, like the one with the day-night cycle, but not the Innistrad day-night cycle. The other one where you have, you know, the racist elves, but like hyper racist, not classic racist elves, like the super racist with the horns.
That I would call them pretty much the. What's the best way of putting it? They pretty much are really speciest.
Yeah, speciest. That works. All right. Yep. Based off UV, going into the plush zebra. Yep, that looks good. I'm just like trying to texture paint right now. It would help if I had the texture as the color of the you know, what the? Why didn't that? Oh, that's why.
But anyway, I think you're gonna be happy with some upcoming things later
Oh.
because they already announced Final Fantasy coming to MTG.
Oh yeah, no, that's coming out in 2024, right?
Yes, that should be next year or the year after. I can't remember. But the
Mhm.
problem is we don't know what part of Final Fantasy.
I just said that.
We just don't know.
Code just I just said that. Get in the chat, Code. Blue is being an irresponsible employee and chatting in a Discord during work. What are you doing, Code? All right, and then Yunk.
Back to work, you goddamn friggin' layabout.
At least I'm earning money.
I earn money, thank you very much.
Hang on, I gotta make the thingamadiggy a little bit bigger while BG's is going off in my head. Where's the cookie Frangrel?
But anyway, we already got some Doctor Who spoilers coming out.
Oh yeah, we've been having Doctor Who spoilers for a while now, haven't we?
Oh, for the new set for them.
They are getting released in October, which is annoying as hell.
Oh, wait. Is it going off when I'm in the States? Maybe I can...
Yes.
Let me have a look. Doctor Who MTG. Let me have a look at the...
Oh, we're also... It's not just Final Fantasy we're getting as well.
Oh, no, we're getting a lot.
Apparently, we're also getting Fallout.
We are... Okay, so MTG release release schedule, like, it is chock filled. Like, and I think the reason, like, not only do we have like crazy, like, oh, you have your normal set, then you got your commander, then you've got whatever secret layer does, you got masters, you've got dual decks, jumpstart.
It even says right there, fucking Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, no, we're getting a lot. Like, hang on, let me see if it's all right. So in 2024, we're getting in the first quarter, we're getting Ravnica Remastered, Murders of Carlo Manor, and Fallout. Now, that does not probably, you know, because we're going to get Ravnica Remastered, which means we're going to get normal Ravnica, Ravnica Jumpstart, and Ravnica Commander. Then we're going to go into the Murders of Karlov, which are going to be, you know, Murders of Karlov and probably Commander as well, because we can't get a fuck enough about Commander.
Yeah, me and a friend were actually talking about this today, and we were going through, like, the Fallout. And we were saying, you know, which groups would be under which color. We basically just said, look, at the moment we know ghouls are going to be black and blue.
No, black and green.
Oh yeah, maybe black and green.
I would because like the ghouls I'd say are very Golgari.
Maybe, but we decided so ghouls are going to be either we're going to be black and blue. The Brotherhood of Steel is definitely going to be white.
Oh yeah, I would say white red.
The Enclave will most likely be black or red.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the Syndicate or the ones who do the synths?
They would be. I think they're called the Commonwealth, technically.
No. I think the Syndicates would most likely be.
Oh, the Institute.
The Institute. The Institute would probably also be a white. Because if the Brotherhood of Steel don't go white, I reckon they would go green.
Mm-hmm.
And red would most likely end up being who did I say was going to be red? Red would most likely end up being the likes of the Minutemen or smaller groups like that.
I could see the
No,
Minutemen being a white blue for some reason.
I think they're all going to be multicolored.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get a lot of multicolor, no doubt.
There's no doubt about it, but that was sort of like we were sort of going off of like what factions would work in which color scheme, and it was like what factions or what creatures would work in which color scheme, and I think the likes of like for green you'd definitely get death claws in green.
Yeah,
Death claws would definitely appear in green. Your bandits, standard bandits would most likely be a red. Ghouls would definitely be along the lines of blacks.
Yep.
And as I said, Brotherhood of Steel would most likely either be white or green. The Minutemen would most likely be a red or green.
So is this based in Boston? Or
I'm
is
not sure where it's going to be based in. So I'm just going off of what Fallout 4 was first. We did also say like the California New Republic, like the one from, because that one was definitely a popular one from New Vegas.
Yeah,
So we
1,
were thinking
2
they
in
would
New
most
Vegas.
Yeah, we'd most likely think they would end up either green or red. Given that they're army based.
Yep, I get what you're saying.
But that was all we really sort of had. And then we were trying to figure out for Assassin's Creed, we were like, that's going to be the hard one to figure out. Like,
I reckon they're
for
like
Assassin's Creed, I reckon it's going to mostly more on the commander side. So there's not going to really be like a real set color to that deck set. It's going to be very much based on commander more than anything else.
Yeah. So yeah, because my question is because when they do their universes beyond, they normally do like, oh, here's a mechanically similar, but we give it like a different name. So instead of partner, we have companion. In Lord of the Rings, we had like the ring tempts you or what have you, and then over in What's-a-Mahoozy land, anyway, back to like what would be Fallout's unique mechanic? Because they'd have to do something with the perk system. But
that's what I was going to say. The perk system would be the major inspiration for it.
Yeah. Would they just go the easy route and just do like a whole ton of equipments? So it's like a Voltron kind of situation?
I could possibly see that being kind of similar to what they did with the likes of, say, Dungeons and Dragons, giving it sort of like spells and characters and things like that.
The perk systems could be enchantments in the same, or enchantment sagas then, wouldn't they? That way you could have like powerful effects and they're not just, mechanically dangerous, they're just forever on the field.
I think with Fallout, it's going to be an artifact heavy set.
I would honestly agree with Icy on this one. It would be very much a very heavy artifact set.
Okay.
So I reckon we'll probably see a lot of non-colored cards. So like the plasma rifles, the pistols. I reckon the only ones that might get the few odd colors would be those for anything that's got to do with stuff like radiation or something like that.
Yep. Okay. You make fair points. Where is my brain at? And then, like, next year we have Eorzea and, hang on, 2024. Where's 2025?
I haven't jumped into Magic in ages. I am so far behind.
It has been a long time.
I recently upgraded my deck.
And Blue has, 69, separate decks or some shit like that.
Nice.
The latest 2 decks I built were Selesnya and Golgari.
I hate it.
I mean, the last deck I made was in Arena, and it was a Goblin deck.
Okay, all right. Hang on, what's this one? View. There we go. Paint. That's what we want. Because what I'll do
No,
then is I'll
I
just
actually
do
no, I
this.
did make a werewolf deck when they rebrought into Illustrad and stuff like that.
Oh, that was kind of cool. Oh,
I still have my Werewolf Commander deck.
damn you!
Thank you, Jason, for reminding
I think
Grants
at some
to
point
save his
Arena
work.
is going to be bringing in commander setups.
But it's still not ideal in my opinion.
What do you mean commander setups? Sorry, I missed that. Cookie for Jason. I need to
So
save my work.
Arena would probably. I think Arena is going to end up bringing in commander at some point.
Oh no, that's why they
I don't
brought
think so.
in what's a Mahuzi Brawl. Because Brawl makes it so that it's available, like it's in their normal like standard cycle, and they get to work on the cards that they've released and such like that. It would be a huge amount of work for them to try and work backwards to make cards work, unfortunately.
And also with Commander, they would actually have to add every card from every set that exists.
Mm.
Yep, exactly.
That also includes Infinity, by the way, because at least a good third of that set is legal.
Yeah, hang on. Unfinity legal. I still don't feel, I still don't feel the unset should have had like legal cards in there. Because the point of the Unfinity was you could create things, and there was an assumption that like you could maybe see. Thank you, Optus, for the advertisement. You could maybe see like card ideas they wanted to do in the future, such as like the full size art or new kind of keyword mechanics. But now that they've done this, like, oh, there can be a few legal cards in there. It's like you now have to run into a problem of like they obviously can't introduce mechanically new shit in there, or when they want to make it available for normal play. I'm just trying to see where the
There's a blue moon outside.
there's a
Like they can add mechanically new stuff. It'll just be given the Hollow Acorn treatment. Because you know what's funny, right? My Golgari Commander is an Infinity Legendary.
Infinity legal cards. Scryfall. Sorry.
Yeah.
Card gallery. Let's see. Is there a way to filter? All right, so U and F, and then what is the syntax? Format legality is commander. All right. So
You said legality, just said I was like legality.
Oh, are you going to be thinking of playing Mortal Kombat next month?
Probably not. I mean, it's interesting, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I never really played the other ones. So
no, I get you. I get you. Fair enough. All right, I need to. Wait, what? Oh, hang on. I need to do this here and then this
plus,
here.
Money.
Damn money. Money.
Plus, I'm trying to save this. I'm trying to save over the next few weeks because there's a small pop culture thing happening in town.
Oh, that's cool.
So, don't want to save up some mungies and take those mungies over to there and buy some things that I probably don't need but really, really want.
Fair enough, C's. Fair enough, C's. I know that I need to save
last year
money.
I spent like $200 on Power Rangers crap.
Oh, who gives a shit about Power Rangers?
Excuse you?
Who cares?
Oh man, imagine if he made an offensive comment to Kamen Rider.
Oh,
I
you
mean,
are you a fan of Kamen Rider Blue?
I'm not a fan of it. I know of it, and let's just say if you piss off those people, you're in trouble.
Oh,
It's basically like that old saying of if furries can afford a $2,000 $200,000 fursuit, they can afford a $10 pipe bomb in my mailbox.
No, that joke, yeah. It's like, don't mess with the furry community.
oh, no, seriously, please don't. We're looking
Yeah.
for excuses.
Just so you know, Twitch, that is a joke. That's a joke.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a joke. Joke.
For legal reasons, that's not a joke. Chat, do not try and make pipe bombs. They're very expensive and they're very dangerous to the user and to yourself.
Also, if you want the recipe, just go over to my Discord and I'll give it to you for free. I mean, what?
Oh my
Oh my god.
I'm
swear.
joking. I'm joking.
TOS,
Leave it to the
TOS.
leave it to the Australians to do like a little bit of misinformation.
Excuse me, you're bloody Australian.
Not that strongly. Have you listened to me? You've met me. You know how American I am.
Nah, Khan. He doesn't use the lingo well enough.
Look at this freedom, Andy.
I'll accept freedom, Andy. You can thank America for so many things.
This cunt's like a friggin' champ at the moment, isn't he, Icy?
Oh man, I feel like, Code, I'm gonna support you in this one.
Mm.
It's fucking Struthia.
Now comes the fun bit where Code and Blue now have to try and communicate in a super Aussie tone and hope that either A, I don't understand what they're talking about, or B, neither one of the others starts using slang the other person doesn't know about, because you're not even in the same state, are you?
This half the time you don't understand what I'm saying anyway.
Yeah, because you're talking nonsense, and then like Code just decides to lisp words like myth.
Yeah, what about myth?
Math.
Oh
That's what
man,
I
he hasn't
fucking
had.
said, cunt. Fucking myth.
It's math with an A.
That's what
I
I
swear-
fucking said, cunt.
I swear, Cody, he hasn't had a pinger.
Alrighty. How's
man.
how's my zebra looking, chat?
Poor Grant. You say just the slightest thing and he goes off like a blue ass blowfly.
I don't know what was it? A blue ass bloatfly, was it? Here we go.
I mean,
Also,
that
hi
is
there,
what I said, yeah.
Angel. Is that the famous
True.
Icy, the best penned player on Twitch? Oh, Pendulum, you're a certified
chat.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh my god, I don't play pendulums.
Are you sure? Like the last few times I saw you on Yu-Gi-Oh, you were playing Pendulum.
Listen, I was playing mostly Fusion. Alright? When I
He
was
was
doing the
holding
solo
on to those
mode,
pendulum cards for a friend, okay?
freaking Pendulum gets screwed over by a lot of the Solums, and now they're getting screwed over by the current meta.
Lol.
And one of their main cards is banned.
Yeah.
Alright, where's the... Okay, so I need to move...
I mean, nobody likes meta. I mean, just ask, Elon Musk. He hates meta.
Yeah.
It was
It's like,
kind
oh
of
my gosh,
funny
why does a
seeing him
social...
getting booed.
Yeah. I can't wait for, when the fight that they're trying to coordinate is gonna fall through and they decide to just fight in the back of a McDonald's parking lot or something.
Oh, it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna happen.
Hmm. Yeah. But we
Both
could-
of them are too chicken shit to even do it.
Here's the thing though, I can imagine Elon Musk chickening out of it. I imagine Mark Zuckerberg would have that for some reason, the autistic in me is if you decide to go 30% of the way there, they're going to go the 70. They're going to commit.
Nah. No. What I reckon would happen is they'll most likely each pick up a champion.
Go suck a lemon.
Oh my god, I'm listening to fucking Kingdom Hearts again.
What's wrong with Face My Fears?
I want to go through like a month without a Kingdom Hearts reference, and I thought I was gonna reach that, and then he went and called Twitter fucking X, and then like a few weeks later, like the Adventures of Superman has Lana, or sorry, not Lana, Lois Lane, with a key, and her attire is like Keyblade-esque, and I'm like, that's not the key to the city. That's fucking Kingdom Hearts.
Well, this is what happens when you decide to binge Kingdom Hearts all the way through.
Look,
And whose fault is that?
it's no one's fault. I would love to blame you, Blue, but I can't.
How can you blame me?
I mean, technically, he could blame both of us, Icy.
For what?
Well, I played it and then got said to Grant he needed to play it, and you've been playing it quite a lot, so I think we're kind of both to blame.
Now, I played Kingdom Hearts way after he finished Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, but like you kind of encouraged me because of your whole Classicus route, and you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna be playing Kingdom Hearts on the PS2 original version because I am far too much of an image to retain by going to modern technology. It must be the PS2."
It's about going back to the good old days of getting fucked over by unskippable cutscenes and stupid nonsense. Like there's no dedicated button to opening a chest.
Whose fault is that?
It's mine because, as I said before, I stream games on their original systems whenever possible.
You could have easily have blamed what's his name? Hang on. Kingdom Hearts creator Tetsuya Nomura. You could have easily have blamed Tetsuya Nomura for his nonsense.
No, nobody blames Tetsuya for anything. He is completely blameless in all of this, okay?
He's blameless for putting Kingdom Hearts on mobile phones.
No, that was Kingdom Hearts Union Cross X.
No, there's more. There's more mobile games than you realize.
I know.
It's so painful. What's Dark Seekers was following by becoming the first. It was changed during.
You know what? I'm not going to be surprised if we don't find a Kingdom Hearts reference in fucking Baldur's Gate 3 when we go through it.
Oh, we most likely will. Like, it will either be Final Fantasy or, you know what? What if we get a Dark Souls reference? What is it? The Moonblade? Hang on a second. Dark.
No, though, should we? I do believe there is a Final Fantasy reference by what I've heard.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be like,
and I believe it's Final Fantasy 14 related. That's all I know is there's a Final Fantasy 14 reference.
Okay, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14. Like, I hopefully can understand the reference. Another Kingdom Hearts song.
Simple and clean is
simple and clean as the way that you're making me feel tonight.
It's hard inside my pants. I mean, it's hard to let it go. What?
Do you know this?
Oh,
Are you familiar with this song yet, Blue? Simple and clean.
Nah, my mind is currently filled with Pikmin references.
No, you're lying. You know what? You're probably not lying because you're not going through Kingdom Hearts the proper way. You're not like fully investing into it. You're taking a break.
Listen, I don't play Kingdom Hearts to put myself through some, 1950s torture method.
In the 1950s, during an era when no one was getting divorces, is Tetsuya Nomura went back in time and introduced to family homes the PlayStation 2 so they could specifically play Kingdom Hearts. Simple.
Hey, you're the
Joke's
one
on you.
who
I don't
decided
even
to
like
bring
sex.
Kingdom
We're going to
Hearts.
sit here and talk about the entire Kingdom Hearts storyline.
I very much would. All right. Plush
And then Grant
zebra.
will still not be able to understand any of it.
I understand the basic. Look, I can, much like Dark Souls, I can probably get like maybe 50 to 80% of it. And I just accept that Kingdom Hearts is not based on the scale between based and cringe. It's cringe, like much more leaning to that than
Zeebs is a cutie.
You're cringe.
yeah. Well, I will accept that. Cause like, let's be real. Like, you're talking about like a teenager of. Oh my god, why is the light so far away?
Because you're not meant to go towards the light, Grant. Don't go towards the light, Grant.
Oh my god, this light is like absolutely. Oh wait, I need to put it like right fucking here, don't I? Oh, it's not a. Oh, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Sphere and Retopo, we're gonna put in a collection, and then shrink. There we go.
Rinky dink.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. All right, and then G and Z zoom in. Didn't scare me at all. Don't. This is a terrible zebra.
It's an okay zebra.
Like, but it's not the same as like the other zebra I did like long ago. Hang on. +3. Like, let me see if I can. Maybe it's still somewhere. Open. Save. All right. Where? Hang on. Oh, I'm gonna need to move it here in case there's a penis. Let's see. Where are you? Sculpting, Saurus hair, playing cards. It's somewhere. I wouldn't have deleted it at this point. Me. Zebra plushie, here we go. Hopefully this doesn't break. Like, look at this guy. I do not remember how I did this guy.
With a great degree of difficulty and maybe some...
I honestly don't remember. Like...
Maybe you were drunk at the time.
Maybe? Who knows? Like, because, alright, so here's... Because it's like a pig, nearly. And then we have... So there's the other zebra plush, where it has, like... And then... There's the
Hey,
sculpt.
Grant.
Hey, what's up?
What did one nut say to the other while they were running?
Conk?
No, I'm a cashew.
Oh, the button doesn't work. What the fuck? My voice mod doesn't work. Why does it not work when I decide to stream? Why is it... Cookie for Jason. Alright, relaunching.
Couldn't give me a rim shot.
There we go. There's your rim shot. For whatever reason, this thing just doesn't want to... Furry Curious is just hitting me with like all the fucking what's-a-mahoozy. There we go. Now the thingamajiggy will work. So now if I press it here, yay!
Freaking all this gate is crazy.
Oh no, it is absolutely great. That's why me and Code are doing like a D&D Friday night, like once a week.
And that's why, as a MTG player, I'm looking at why is the price of Carla going up?
Oh, it's because she. So,
Army milkers.
do you want like a legitimate reason?
Oh, I already know the reason.
Oh.
Freaking that card, I think it's like $15 up now.
It got up to 69.
Giggity.
Nice. Blue, I'm not
Jeez.
gonna turn away until you say nice.
Oh my god.
Just forever zoomed in. So okay, so how did
Well, sadly for you, I can't see any of this.
You just refuse to watch my streams. How did I?
Oh, do you recommend me looking at your stream while I'm driving?
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that's a bad thing.
yeah, no, that's a bad thing. Don't do that. What the? Ah, Jesus. Okay.
Yes, kids, please do not stream and stream and drive at the same time.
Hmm. So, all right, and then there's the zebra plush down there. Wait, did I object and then okay, so this is the retopoed and it's like a very oh, hang on. Shading and then okay, so that was
You're
for
gonna
the
throw some
next
shade at it, are you?
zebra plus she. So there's the plus. That's it. Okay, hang on. Open. Don't save the zebra plushie. Go up to here. Get to the sculpting. This is what he looks like from. Oh my god. This is the plush I started with, trying to make him like way more horse-like than plush, which I feel like was a mistake. I feel like I should have kept to like short and stubbiness.
He needs some meat on his bones.
Yeah, you need some. So, because this is where the guy is right
I know
now.
what's wrong with it. Ain't got no gas in it.
Mm-hmm. All right. So normal map. Dink to the normal, and then I need an image texture, which is going into color. All right. Assets.
Trying to figure out what to play tonight.
Federal. Hopefully this is the right one. There we go. All right, so now what I need to do is then go Control T, so it adds the mapping, and then I can shrink this down to like a 10. Oh, nope, too much.
Oh, I yawned really hard and I just popped my jaw for a second there.
Sounds amazing. Oh, I can just do. Hang on. Value, and then I just go. That way I just have like the one value, so I can go like 5. There we go. So now if I render this image, that doesn't look good. Let's see. What if
I mean, it doesn't look not good.
Doesn't look not good, no. All right. Okay, maybe I should change from like an all black to more of a gray, and then.
You know what I might
goes
do tonight? I
down.
might do some Final Fantasy.
You know, that sounds rather nice.
I haven't done much at the moment of that, and I need to get further into the story. That way I can start kicking your ass.
I've not gone into Shadowbringers just yet, and it is honestly tempting when I do go into Shadowbringers, like to try the Gunbreaker. Cause that was like
Do
the
Gunbreaker.
Cause like one, it's a class with a gun for tank, which is awesome.
I'm surprised you haven't gone. Although you're not big into DPS, so like I'm surprised you hadn't gone like mechanic or mechanist.
Mechanist, yeah. No, I've not gone into that. I don't know what. Like DPS is just not my thing. When I hear like, oh, it's a lot of like I like my 1-2-3 combo and then like my extra off skill things to help keep me alive. I very much would like to stick to that.
DPS is very much something the same, but it doesn't sort of like they do have that 1-2 combo and then that skill that keeps you alive, but they're more focused on dealing quick bits of damage over time rather than holding an enemy's attention.
Okay.
That's the main difference between a tank and a DPS. A tank is designed to hold the attention, while a DPS is there to poke it in the rear until it stops moving.
Yep. Yep. I get what you mean. All right, I'm gonna try and make it a little
you
more
keep poking in the butthole until it says, "Please just stop poking in the butthole."
Yeah. Because I'm the one, as Joe Cat says, I'm the one with doing the slap fights at the boss, because no one else is ready for the push pounding patty cake.
That's fruity.
Hey, look, I will admit I prefer my DPS roles. I don't want to be the one responsible for drawing the attention or keeping anyone alive. I just want to be there to smack things over the head with a stick.
Isn't a majority of your class healers?
No, majority of my class is all DPS magic range.
Oh. Who am I thinking is the one?
Red mage, black mage, summoner, lancer, because I do like the long stick to be able to poke things in the butthole with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who doesn't love to poke things in the butthole with a big stick?
All right. Why is it? Hang on.
Hey, you can still enjoy poking things in the butthole with a big stick. It doesn't have to be a gay thing.
Oh wait, no, that's the end. I need the sculpt.
Sheesh, you don't just go talking about people's manholes, all right?
Phrasing. I think I was just so obsessed in trying to make it horse-like. I forgot like the purpose of the plush is, that it's a stubby cutty.
A stubby cutty.
As like cuttable, like
So it's the thing that
Cuddle.
cows chew on in the middle of their mouth.
No, just cuddle.
So it's
cuddleable.
No, you've already said it. It's cud.
No,
It's cud.
Shut up.
He's.
And then I need to somehow. Oh no, that's not doing what I. And then hopefully this. No.
And now,
So that
Grant
globs it.
questions the reasons on
Now
why he bothers to keep me around for D&D night.
Because you're actually fun.
It's fucking when, cunt.
Since Titan Quest.
That's true.
I don't know if you know, but like there are some people. Like, I'm not like some big time furry streamer with like a huge following and all kinds of like circle of friends to play with the minute I start streaming and for peeps to jump in. There is someone here who does have that kind of follower base and decides to sometimes just play with other random peeps in a game of Mario Party or Mario Kart.
Listen here,
I think
Mario
he's talking
Party
about
is
you.
my game. I'm the god of Mario Party.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how Code tried to screw me over so many times, but it didn't work?
I remember.
Never tried to screw you over. Why would I try to screw you over, you cheating whore? I mean, cheating whore. I mean, cheating whore. I mean.
It sounds like a skill issue.
Is my stream of me trying to do art while chatting with friends, Furry Cures, disrupting you from your karaoke moment? It's just like, shut up.
Listen here, Furry Cures. We won't be offended by you singing to Britney Spears.
Wait, what song is this?
Eddie Murphy's "I'm a Believer" from Shrek. They're just like, they're like, shut up. This is my shit. As if this isn't being played right now in
Eddie Murphy's. I'm a fan of Justin Bieber.
Alright. Yeah, I think I'd have to do this all over again.
Because I'm a believer. I follow Justin Bieber to the grave.
Because it looks like a boyzoy. It looks like one of those long-nosed dogs right now. Like
it's a pointer.
It's just like let me just zoom in. It's just like, let me do it for you, and then it's just like the piano.
Oh God, no!
And then it just like decides to just go boom. Oh, I have an idea. Hang on a second.
Well, let me do it for you.
And the
For me.
this is gone. And then how do I select?
You know what you know what you need is you need one of
Dark
those like
chocolate lemon.
little. You know how some of the models in VR chat do the really long nose thing. You need to be able to do that with yours, Zebra. Just sort of.
Would be funny. Select
Just
linked?
out of
No,
nowhere,
that's
just
not
all
why.
of a sudden, really long snoot in everyone's face. Just
All right, hang on. Yonk. Oh, god damn you. All right, so if I grab this, and then that should be long enough. So now, as I go into, oh, I can't do shape keys while I'm in the thingy. All right, and then nose, and now if I go into edit, if I do it via the normal, yep, there we go, and then, oh, wait. I'm gonna have to do it from like the smaller part of the nose. Select more. Oh, it's doing the, is it doing a proportional edit? No, it should just be bounding box. There we go. So now if I do the nose, it's just like whoomp. Alright, donk. Dun, dun.
hang on. If you want to make a Shrek reference, Pinocchio, tell a lie. I'm wearing ladies' underwear.
Are you?
No.
I think you are. Alright, hang on.
No, I'm not. Honestly,
think,
I swear.
and
It's
then
a song.
what?
I was like fucking 12
When it
when that one came out, and like mum, the second that like the thong part came up, mum was like, "Oh god, no!"
nope, we're not saying that now. Alright, Hank Steele, the real queer cowboy? What? Why do I get the weirdies? Alright,
Come on, I have to hear this.
I can
Oh,
I can view it on,
oh no.
I can send it to you in the Zebra streaming if you want. There you go.
Oh, am I gonna regret checking this out?
You're gonna, for sure.
Uh,
Alrighty. And then why is Oh, I know
Nope.
why. It's because
I listened to 5 seconds of that, and I'm already going no.
I think I'm gonna skip it.
Yeah.
Alright, skip.
If you want the real queer ones, yeah, you gotta get those ones that have been on TikTok lately.
Oh, the NPC things?
No. It's this dude who does like all sorts of really gay, like
Where is-
lewd type of songs.
There you are.
And there's this one, it's a cowboy type one. And I'm not going to say the words here on the stream, for TOS purposes, but let's just say it goes into some questionable territory.
Ah, okay. Alright, I'm gonna go with Artist Workbench and change it to 0.2. So hopefully that's not gonna be too strong. Or no, half. Alright, what does it look like with half? That's a little bit better. It's so terrible. It's just... There we go. And then zoom you in. And then
Grant, have you managed to get your invite to Blueski yet?
to what? Sorry?
To Blueski.
No, I've not been able to get it. I've not, like, here's the thing. I feel like everyone who's been going to Blue Sky has either, like, just sort of cut ties with Twitter and all the other stuff, which means they've done this kind of shit before and they have their circle of friends and they're fine, or they're doing the social media coordinator thing of, we're working on Blue Sky, but we're also doing our shit on Twitter, Telegram, and all those other places.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that boat myself.
Yeah, I can't do that. I've been failing at Telegram and Discord so far. I can't go from like Twitter to another platform. I tried doing like, what was it, Pillow Fort or something, and then I tried going back to Tumblr. I do not have the time. And Threads was a close.
You don't know. I think at some point soon, Twitter may not be functional. So
I doubt it, quite frankly. Like, here's the thing: is Tumblr still exists, and the only reason like there was like a mass exited is because number one, like the system never was like a quick thing to do on the mobile phone as Twitter is right now, and the whole like them banning real life porn images to stifle sex trafficking and and stuff, and people thought, oh, that's all porn, which most not safe for work content creators have already, like, we're in a post porn isn't just available everywhere kind of internet now. Like, that kind of exodus isn't exactly going to happen again. That's a once in a while sort of nonsense. And what's more is, like, just functionally wise, Twitter isn't going to go away.
Although I think if I'm going to put this big in quotation marks, if Twitter did or does go ahead with the removing block button, that's going to see a very long list of people leaving.
I imagine. Well, here's the thing: is like we've already
technically they can't remove it because both Google Store and the Apple Store require social media apps on their platform to have a block button.
Yeah. Like, there's so many things Elon Musk wants to do on the platform, and it's so, like, the whole point of, the whole, grabbing all that fuck you money and make it himself is that he really he could do whatever the fuck he wants and make it operate on a loss if he wanted to get it to do his vision. But he hasn't done that. He has been operating it as if it still needs to make money, and Elon is an idiot. Like, most people,
point, most all of the advertisement is pretty much gone.
Yeah, no, a good 50% of advertiser just it was not worth the risk for them and such like that. And the thing is that operating costs of websites is very low when your top 10% are making 80% of the content. It does not take that much to host a website and all that kind of nonsense. What costs a lot of money is moderation and expansion work. Like, even if for whatever reason Elon Musk is the last person on the company doing his thing, that shit would last, I would say, 6 months before we actually saw, it shut down or something like that. Yeah. It's a very slow car crash, and unfortunately,
I'm not going to be surprised that once Blue Sky really gets up and going, that a lot of people aren't going to move over to that app. Because I mean, it is essentially the better form of Twitter at the moment.
Does it function exactly the same as Twitter, where it's like you can access it via PC, via mobile? You do the
yeah, it's essentially the new form of Twitter.
Because I know Threads is trying to do that, and Threads would be close if A, they made it available on PC to operate with the web browser, and B, opened up to the EU if they didn't have so much privacy concerns. So
I mean, you've already got people the likes of, Pulsar, who's straight up, he's just left Twitter and gone to Blue Sky and Itaku and Pillow Fort.
Yeah, no, but here's the thing: is Pulsar isn't the average furry. Like the furry community is filled with creative people. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah.
Pulsar is a very big, popular furry with a massive following that is not limited to Twitter and what have you. They probably have other means of communication with their inner circle and what have you. The average furry user, however, like once a platform like disappears and shit like that, it is like half a surprise when you find them somewhere else again. Like,
oh yeah, no, for sure.
Like there are people that I've seen on Twitter that I've suddenly found on Twitch again, or oh, they have a Discord or a Patreon. It's like, even though they would probably advertise it, I advertise my Twitch up to the wazoo, and all this kind of such. And it's like so many furries areas like in Discords and what have you are like, oh, I didn't know you host party stream games, and I'm like. Just shaking. I know I'm socially awkward, but please understand, I'm not dead. Yeah, I'm not doing anything with this right now. I'm in a very chatty sort of mood. I'm just gonna save this and move over to the chat room now.
Move over to your chatty room.
Yeah. So
here's the weird thing. I actually don't know what kind of streamer you want to be, Zeebs.
that is fair. Like, I'm currently sitting in this, like, doing whatever it is I want. And it's like, hang on a sec, let me just lower
I
music.
find that's the best type of streamer, just someone who does whatever the fuck they want.
That's probably like
But
the best health-wise, doing whatever the fuck they want and not chasing a trend, especially because I'm doing this in a hobbyist route. But what Blue is meaning is people can't point to me and say, this is a streamer that will do like blank on the regular. Like because for example, Scribbly Noodle and a lot of furry VTuber streamers are normally of like one of two areas. They're either an artist demonstrating their craft and their content creation on the regular. So it's like, maybe two to three times a week they're doing art, either because it's art for themselves, art for a commission, or, just art for a friend. And then once in a while, they'll play a video game because someone else asked them to or something or other. Kusaki, meanwhile, sure, he has content creation of his DJing, but I would probably put Kusaki down a little more as a personality streamer as opposed to as like a creative avenue streamer.
He's already stated that he's a variety streamer.
Yeah. So,
like that's what he is. But every time I look at you, I actually don't know what you want to be. That's the problem. You like have an identity crisis.
jeez.
I know I'm being blunt about it.
No,
but
that's
legit.
that's
time
okay.
I like. Here's the weird thing. I legit think you're a Final Fantasy 14 streamer because that's what I see all the time.
It's MMO night. I'm stuck in Final Fantasy because I thought I would somehow blitz through that thing in like a year or less. That's not happened.
I mean, it's almost been like 2 years almost since you started that.
Yeah. So yeah, because that's the thing is like I do the variety stream, but it's like I want to do, but it's like autistic me just wants to have like some structure because I'm not in a thing of like, oh, I feel like streaming tomorrow evening. I'm going to be playing this tomorrow evening or something. It's like, no, Saturday nights I'm going to do MMO night. Wednesday night I've started doing like fucking around in Blender and letting people like pick songs and such like that while I learn a little bit more of Blender and like, all the faults and fuck ups as I go along. And then my video games have either been I commit to a game and I'm playing that like 2 times a week, or more recently, I'm doing like 2 or 3 different games a week. And it's like they're never completed within the week. They take however long. It's messy. Like, don't get me wrong. But the good news is that like it's not I don't know. I just like the format because if I didn't stream, I would do basically the same shit I'd be doing in the evenings. I just wouldn't be, presenting it to people, talking, or discovering peeps like Scribbly Noodle, yourself, B. So I don't know, but yeah, you're right. It is a bit of an identity crisis because there'll be moments of like, I just want to go on a tangent about how the Souls-like name needs to alter into something that is a little more in line with first-person shooters, or what DC characters can fit within the Ravnica guild system, and why a majority of them would technically be Boros, sorry, not Bolas. So you have your point there, and sure. Where was I in my train of thought? Fuck.
You were going on about how handsome I am.
No, that's not what I was doing.
You
Anyway,
sure?
the whole
It seems like the correct path.
Mm-hmm. Are you ending stream? Probably in like 15 minutes or so. But yeah, you did.
Right.
It is an honest criticism, and I would, where would
because it's like this. The one thing
suck
I
at my
learned from streaming is that people that come into the chat, they're always looking for something specialized.
Mm.
They're always looking for one particular thing. And then if that streamer provides said thing, they'll keep coming back. Even if the streamer themselves does the occasional something out of their norm.
I think in my case, everyone just comes to my stream because I'm fat.
Yeah, no, like, because that can be the initial thing. But I would say, like, with yours, Code, you play a lot more RPGs than I do, for certain. Like, if I look at my history of like streams I've done analytics wise, it's like it jumps. There's no like other than like the quote unquote popular games. Like if I look at my history of things I've streamed, it has been a case of either a lot of modern stuff I've done. I've jumped into an RTS because as I was like, what the fuck? What else am I going to do? Ran through BioShock, ran through Kingdom Hearts, ran through Titanfall, a first-person shooter. Like I've gone through an actual variety, but it's never been a case of, oh, I've been pushing down into the indies. It's been like the most normie sort of variety where it's like, oh, what's popular? And then there's like some where I don't play it full stop, like most things from Blizzard most recently, and Hogwarts Legacy for objection reasons. So yeah, and I think it's
Yeah, I think you'll find your audience, like your main thing. You've still got regulars that come in from time to time.
Oh no, absolutely. And
I mean, look at Furrycuas over here. I doubt we could get rid of him if we wanted to.
You would think. Nah, don't ban furry cures. They got the VIP badge and everything. But no, they
earned that VIP badge.
I feel like
through their blood, sweat, tears, and the stealing of Grant's shirt consistently.
Yes, and the squatting. So yeah, because I think that's the thing, is like it's the times that people have said like, oh, why they stick around and such have always been the quote unquote vibes, which is like probably the least best criticism of like, oh, what makes you stick around? Oh, the vibes. It's like, cool. Vibe checking is a meme. It's not an actual like metric. So, because like some of the cases of when people have stuck around have been things such as when I was binging through Kingdom Hearts and I had like my rant about how blue-haired women are never winning in the love triangle or the waifu wars, and Hinate was the only technical win. So it's just one of those fun little, I play video games for 3 hours, and you might catch me in a half an hour segment of you hit onto a topic I want to discuss about, and I'm willing to throw fists and argue. So that's where I'm at with my thing. And I think like,
You think that you
I-
know?
I'll say one good thing is if people come in for your personality, that's good.
Yeah. So, which is rather nice. Like when people say, you know, it's either a calm stream or
Yes.
they enjoy, just like chatting with me and such like that. Because going through middle school and high school and remembering all the just being cringe just because of the simple case I'm autistic and I can't read cues. Being a handshake Andy in public forums.
I was gonna say, coming in for the personality, I was only gonna say, like, very curious, his personality is up here, not down there.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I don't know. So, like, as the years go on, like, because now I've passed my second year. I'm going into my third year of streaming and such like that. And it's like, yeah, personality stream is definitely where I'm probably sitting right now. And, as like my most consistent stream is Saturday, Final Fantasy 14, and then followed up only most recently by what's-a-mahoozy, Blender for the, however many months I've done that. And now I'm trying to introduce, the party game streams like the first month of every Saturday, similar to how Kusaki does their DJ streams on the last Saturday of the month. So I'm just a personality, just trying to find like where is my personality like best demonstrated, because it's not like, I don't know. I like long form discussions about, video game creation or tropes and what have you, but it's like
I like long walks on the beach and candlelit dinners by the moonlight.
Is that your ideal date code? Long walk.
Fuck no.
Nah. So if I was a more cringe white man, I would. If I was a more cringe white man, I would have started a podcast and we'd just be sitting in VR chat.
What if we held hands?
I mean, there's quite a fair few of those already for furries and everything like that.
There is a bit. I remember Kusaki and Kahlua were in one. I only like slipped into it like in 5 minutes, and I think I just came in a bad time where they were just like reviewing some sort of video about a football culture or something, and I was like, like I've gone through the the React channels on YouTube already. I'm not interested in the standard user reacting to content. That's my thing. If I want reactions, I want reactions from like professionals or something or other. So it's like when Corridor does VFX artists react. Yes, they're in like kind of hot waters right now because they've been fucking around with AI too much and are a bit tone deaf to, the struggles of the artists right now. But honestly, that there to lawyers react and there's a guy that does some streaming, Dr. Mick. He's a licensed psychologist, and he goes through video games and such like that. And he normally like he stops and like discusses about like some of the mental shit that's going off there and the communication and such, which is great. Like those are my favorite like reaction content, is when it's coming from a source that just knows how shit gets done, like Matt Mercer and D&D.
You know what? I think you should try to do this sort of stream. So this is just an idea from me. Maybe just try to do something similar to like a late night talk show kind of stream.
Okay.
If you want to have that sort of long discussion, it could be about random topics. Who knows? Might throw in some Jackbox too while you're at it for some dumb stuff.
That's kind of like why I do the Saturday party game stream is an excuse to find people to communicate and hang out with. I am terrible with making friends.
I'm gonna spit in your mouth.
I think you'll be fine. You got Purdue again next year.
Yes, and I have Furdu with trying to host, or so long as I get it. I submitted for doing a Twitch meetup panel for 2024 because Mutasaur, she did, she was doing Creative Den and all this other shit, and she also did a Twitch panel in 2023. People had their comments about like, oh, what they liked, what they didn't like. And I, approached them one day and I said, hey, I would love to join in and help you out however I can in the next Twitch panel. And then Mutasaur was like, hey, Grant, you know what? It's all yours. And I was like,
Have fun with that.
have fun with that. But it's like, what the fuck else am I going to be doing in Furdu? The 2 times I've gone to Furdu, even with like the intention of like I will hang out with people and such, my circle of friends there who are not artists is very small and are very busy. I need to do a better job of like communicating and such. And that just comes with the territory of me.
I'm sure you'll think of something.
Yeah.
You have to
Uh,
you have to like communicate more, network more.
Yeah.
And also making plans at a con is one of the worst things you can do.
No, I've fucked up on that one for sure.
It's like that famous line from the DC TV series. Make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails. Forget about
Throw away the
plan.
pan. Yep. No, Leonard Snart, fucking genius.
I mean, that's pretty much how my ADHD works.
That's how a lot of people's ADHD works. Is they'll either have like executive dysfunction of I need to do the plan, 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 or they just throw it out entirely and do something else. So it's just.
I mean,
that.
I think I've got like 50 boxes full of shit that I've started on doing and then never ended up finishing.
Yeah, that's fair. So what's more is blah, blah, blah. Where's my brain at? Oh, so many ideas, so many things I want to do for my stream and such like that. But every time I want to do them, it's like I want to work on creative things I want to work on, but I need to manage the fact of a full-time job, which I know isn't a proper. I know that shouldn't be an excuse to not do anything. 5 minutes left. I'll do the thingy-madiggy when I want furry cures. I'm my own manager. I'm the one that sits at my desk, puts on the GoPro strap, and go fuck it.
lemon.
We're doing it live. Give me the tape. Fuck it. We're doing it live. What's the name of that guy?
Yeah, we'll do them live.
Do it.
What if we held hands
What's
as a
his-
treat?
We'll do it. Bill O'Reilly. There we go. Bill
Well,
O'Reilly.
I'll tell you.
Nuts.
Philomeno, really.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's been great being on stream, but I must take my leave.
No, that's fair enough. You were in the middle of work and then driving and such like that. And as Furry Cures likes to tell me so many times, I'm getting close to like my 3-hour mark or something or other, which is my normal amount of time I try to stream.
Trying to get rid of Grant already. Like, you can't appreciate his personality and the fact that he's here trying to be with you guys.
Oh, why would they
Just
ever
time him out for 10 seconds.
Lol. So yeah, well, I'll do my thing.
That's such a mean Furry Cures.
It's probably I probably just need moderators that are willing to do that shit, but so I'm not gonna make Puffin, and I've already got Blue as a moderator. I'm not gonna make Puffin a moderator. I feel like Puffin.
You already gave Puffin access to, was it 7TV, and look what happened.
God damn it! I forgot I did that. Fuck! My brain just doesn't do shit, does it? Doesn't do the memory thing.
There's a memory thing?
Yeah, there's a memory thing. It's in like the fucking there's a part of your brain close to like emotions because that's like the interesting thing about your brain is that your memory strength is proportional to the emotion within it. It's why we don't remember like our day-to-day shit, but we'll remember like euphoria or trauma. Even if we try and repress the trauma, there will always be like these weird ass ties, and then the emotion will just be like boom. Trauma.
Trompa.
So yeah. All right. Let's get a raid sorted. Let's see. That dog Kofu, they are doing Dark Souls shit. But I feel like I raid into them every time it's Wednesday. Let's
Well,
see.
if you want to, Kusaki's doing their thing with Z.
Yes. The penguins thing. I see them.
There's also
The
a
call
very fun Japanese artist.
Okay, that's
Nikki,
it. I'm gonna spit in your mouth.
Nick Icy, who is doing some art at the moment.
I did not hear any of. I didn't hear any of that, and I'm already typing in Kusaki Desu into the raid because I'm like, because I have my raid message in mind of the BJ boys are back ?
Wow, wait to deny the small time Japanese furry artists.
Wow.
Instead, I'm raiding into Popufer Kusaki Desu.
Well, I hate to say this, but I need to get going, so I won't be there at the post end of this. So take care, everyone.
Not to worry. And for everyone else, I want to say thank you, everyone who came along to tonight's stream. I greatly appreciate it. Sorry there isn't any like really good art renders like normal, but hope you'll join with me as we raid into Kusaki Desu. Code, thank you for jumping into chat as well, for keeping me company. And we'll see you all next time. Bye for now.
Bye.
Go suck a lemon.
No, but I see